Live. Yep. Hello, Altadena out there. Welcome, and thank you for taking your time on this rainy day to come spend time with us, to listen in, and hopefully we all get some new insight on how we grow and move forward further. I want to take this time to thank everybody and everybody on this team. We have a plan and a strategy, and the entire concept hopefully becomes one of the largest coalitions ever by a group of residents. So on the 7th of January, all of us lost something so precious to us. Something unimaginable happened to us. Essentially, we've lost an entire city. Children's lost their schools. Families have broken up. Homes that have been in families for years and generations have been lost. And about a week later, I woke up and I realized that no one's out there is going to save us. We really don't have a city council. We don't have a mayor. The magnitude of devastation is so large. There are so many little things that we need to focus. We're the only ones who are going to be able to save ourselves. It's not going to be government. It's not going to be the private sector. And just like a shark swimming, we're little fishes, but we create a school. And that school is designed to defend itself and protect itself. Just like the herds when they see a lion. Right now, we're all prey, okay? People out there are looking at us to take us. And individually, they could do so easy. So easy they can take us. But I hope our plan is to build together, to grow together. We can envision a new city of imaginable proportions. We could take our destiny into our own hands. We could build a new city for the future of Altadena. In 100 years from now, there'll be a documentary on what happens tonight. A city from flames, from ashes, from nothing, rises by the community, protecting one another, supporting one another, helping one another, creating one another, and building one another. And today is the day we begin to build together and preserve our future, because this is our city. It belongs to no one else. We live here, we love her, and we need to protect her. So why are we here? Okay, we're going to establish a unified voice for the community. We need to bring all the residents under together common mission. Since I started this, there's information everywhere. People are organizing here and organizing there. The way we communicate is odd. If we don't unite and actually build this together, we are going to have a lopsided city. We're going to have some guys building containers, some guys feeling like they have to move, some elderly people feeling they're pushed to the side. We might displace our own community. It's going to be an absolute wreck. If we take our visions together and communicate and build with everyone's voice. This is designed to be for residents by residents. Every person in this coalition will have a voice. And everything that you're working on already will be extremely important to what we do. If we do this together, no one will be left out. And the coalition will protect you, will provide you resources. We have a team of attorneys within this. We have teams of financial institutions. So whatever mission you're on, whatever thing you want to fight for, as the coalition will protect you, okay? We independently may have a $500,000 settlement from the insurance company, or we're underinsured or something like that. Being an individual, we will get swallowed up. Okay, we are not going to be victims. We are not going to be someone they can abuse. We are going to be the baddest, leanest, toughest negotiating machine in the world. Nobody's going to tell us what we have to pay them. We're going to tell them what we're going to pay. We're going to dictate policy. We're going to negotiate. We're going to tell people how they treat us. It's not going to be opposite. I don't want people fighting for resources within our community, trying to hoard materials because the prices are going up. Having someone say, well, I'll get to your house next year because you don't want to pay my price. No, it's not going to happen. I don't want these realtors and these predators dropping the prices of land so they can come in and develop it and sell it for a profit. Altadena is not for sale. It's not for profit. So we need to be tough. We need to be aggressive, and we need to let the world know that no one is going to with us. Okay? The way we do that is we may have at least $10 billion in insurance money. Together with 10 billion, all of us, we're tough. We dictate policy. LA is not going to tell us what the city should look like. Sacramento is not going to sit up there with a whiteboard and say, here's this, here's that, go live with it. We know what we want. We know how we want it built. We can envision a new downtown. Who says we can't have the finest architectural homes at the scene? Who says we can't have the best cafes with world-renowned chefs? Who says we can't be a clean, modern yet historic city? We can do this, and every person has a voice, okay? And I promise, so we promise, this is community-based. Whether you're elderly, if your issue is displacement of African Americans, if your issue is mental health, if your issue is park and rec, if it's environment, if it's trees, whatever that mission is our mission. Whatever your problem is our problem. And us coalescing can be the solution, okay? This is designed to make money from you. This is to get us together and build together. We're going to make those decisions on how we move. I didn't go right to government. Everybody says, go talk to this person. No, when we build first and I go knocking on that door, I say, hello, man, we need to speak to you. Me and my 10,000 friends out here. Hello, Mr. Developer, we need to speak to you. Me and our $5 billion. That is what's going to get people to hear us, okay? Next, there are ways for this group here. This isn't, yes, you could just be a member and not come back, which is a beautiful thing because Altadena is for you. But today's primary goal is to find out which and who are the best of the best in Altadena. And if you're not even the best of the best, we need you because thoughts are, and just give you an idea, kids, right? We can buy 500,000 pots. We can order the soil and now start growing our plants. So in 2-3 years, when your house is ready, you're getting plants for pennies. This is how we need to think. We must build $1 million homes for 500,000. I'm going to say that again. We will build the home you deserve, not the home you can afford. And the only way to do this is if we do this together. We cannot have a general contractor making money on the subs, making money on the materials, making money here. There's not going to be a home. You're going to have a 25% home. We need coalesce and strategize. What I want to let everyone know is we don't have this all laid out yet. Okay, we don't have the answers yet, and we've done so intentionally because the smartest, brightest, most unique, creative people are sitting here right now. You're the ones who's going to help develop this, be on subcommittees, address issues, develop communication. We need a marketing team. We're going to need a strategic team. We're going to need a policy team. We need a fundraising team. We need a construction team, architectural team, civil engineers. I know it's complex, but you cannot afford to spend $50,000, $60,000 on an architect. And we need to figure out how we scale this, where we get the best architects on earth scaling at 10,000 a plan. Because our consultants within this group is going to lay this out. Nobody here, unless you're a contractor, can tell me how much their AC is going to cost right now, or what the plumbing is, or things of that nature. You don't need to know that. The coalition will help you. We're going to make sure you don't get ripped off. We're going to make sure we vet the subs. We're going to make sure that material we're purchasing to scale. And I'm going to get into the collective purchasing because that's going to be the driving mission. But this mission isn't just to rebuild the homes. We need to rebuild a city. We need to rebuild a community. We need to rebuild ourselves. We've lost everything. My family lost 7 homes and buildings. My law firm is wiped out. My dad's house is gone. My sister's house gone. Everything that I've spent 51 years in this town is gone. And I said to myself, I'm not going to be a victim. We have hope. We can dictate policy. We can have a seat on the board and every commissioner make sure it goes. There's $700 million has been raised. And I raise your hand if you guys have received it or know where it is. We, the commission, should know. And when we're structured and we know what we're doing, they're going to give us more money. There are corporations who will sponsor us and help us. We can get things for free. We'll know who's hurting so that the coalition can help that person. We're not going to let someone fail because they're 77 years old, they're on Social Security, and they can't get another loan. The commission, the coalition, the cooperative will help each other. We will save ourselves. Nobody is going to save us. Actually, they want everything that you got. Altadena is the most beautiful land on earth. Where else do you know you could go into the mountains? Where else do you know that you could sleep peacefully and in 15 minutes be at a Laker game or be at the biggest concert or be in the mountains or have incredible, we're in the mountains. We are Altadena's names should be in the same history books of some of the greatest cities on earth. We can do this. We don't need someone telling us. This will never be a presidency, a dictatorship. This will be by the people, for the people on every topic. And we're going to fight and we're going to disagree and we may not get along. But those fights, that push, that pull, that fight is going to make us a better city. It's going to make us better. None of us have the answers, but collectively we do. Collectively out there are the creatives, the lawyers. We have some amazing people that have reached out from NASA who have learned to put a spaceship in space. It says, I'm from Altadena and I can help. We've got professors from USC Annenberg School of Communications. We've got some of the top real estate developers in the country. We've got guys from iHeartRadio who knows how to mass media. We've got politicians. This coalition hasn't even begun. And you're going to come back to us and you're going to say, I can help. Here's how much I can help. If it's a couple hours, it's fine. If you are a massage therapist, our family of Altadena is going to need someone to get to park and do some healing for us. If you're a musician, you have value. If you, whatever it is, you bring value because that's what Altadena's always been. We're so mixed up. You could walk down the street and see so many different people, and we love it because that's what we've always been. Okay, so who am I? My name is Freddie Sage. I've been in Altadena for 51 years. I have been a lawyer in my past. I have been in entertainment and event management, producing some of the largest events on earth. I create different rationales for different purposes. It wasn't for a disaster. I've led policy in the grassroots ways. I've changed laws. I've written laws. I generally the dumbest guy in the room, but I'm the loudest voice and I'm the best fighter out there. And I will take my position in my role based upon where the commission decides I'm best used at. I have no ego and I want to be put in the best position to help this coalition. Okay. Done a lot of marketing and heavy contract and conflict resolution. So, if you want me on the negotiation teams, then that's where it is. There are some people who are not going to speak today that are longtime friends. They're Altadena residents. They're people I've trusted through the years. Pastor BJ, he's not here right now, but he is a loud, beautiful voice for our community. He does grassroots advocacy and outreach. BJ is a do-it-all guy, and he's just so proud to have him on our team. Jasmine Aguiar, she is a regulatory and compliance policy developer. She teaches us public-private coalitions between the city. She's currently working on initiatives for the Olympics, for the Super Bowl. She works in economic development, but it's a public-private partnership. So right now, we don't have government people intentionally. They're going to have to work with us, but we want them to work with them on our terms. They're not going to just say what it's going to be, because we could tell them, hey, how things move is we just change policy. When we have 10,000 of us, we said, well, we don't want that. They're not going to come and tell us what they're going to do for us. We're going to tell them what we want them to do. Okay. Christopher Wright has been a 30-year friend of mine. He is with iHeartMedia. He's incredible in broadcasting and streaming and brand development and strategy. Me and him can produce a concert, an event, and a festival anywhere. We could build anything from desert dust. So he's got a great media outreach, and he has an entire team from podcasts and everything, one of the best in the business. Abraham Labad is currently taking over the law firm for me while I could work on this. He's a trial attorney. He's an Altadena attorney. You know, it's nice knowing that you guys, whatever the coalition, hey, can you look this over? Can you write a letter? Someone's bothering us. We're going to need a bunch of these guys. But for now, he said, Freddie, you know, I'll step up. Whatever you guys need, let me know. All right. The next individual came from Warner Brothers. He was there for 10 years. He's on the finance side, so he understands big budgets. He's a finance specialist. He can lead teams. He does process and automation. And, you know, he's a brilliant guy. Next up, I'm going to step aside for now. I'm going to bring on a gentleman who reached out to me after he heard what our plan was. He says, Freddie, I want in. He says, I think I can help. He's one of the best in the business in communications, and he's going to talk about himself. So, Carl Masrali.
Thanks, Freddie. And that's too generous. But yes, I did reach out to Freddie. I have a background in communications. I also, unfortunately, have a lot of colleagues and friends who have been affected by this. And so I'd like to help, but not just me. Number one, we're all volunteers. I just want to make that clear. None of us are getting paid for this. Secondly, this is going to be a very large organized effort. We really don't have many of the answers yet. We don't even have the team. And what I'm here to ask is, if you work in media relations, if you have done legislative affairs, if you have social media experience, web design, graphic design, we're going to have to mount a pretty large communication effort to support everybody in this coalition. So my email is on the slide. Please reach out and we can talk about how we can form a team and contribute together and help Freddie and the rest of the team to get their point across. So that's all I wanted to say. And I look forward to hearing from you.
The guy is so modest. He's a former press secretary for the mayor. He's super connected. He led executive communications for NASA. You know, that level of communication. I mean, these are the type of guys that we want to start and build with. And these are all people who are like, let's build a city. All right. The next individual that I just want to introduce also reached out to me. So I do the town hall and I come up with this crazy idea and I say, hey, let's all get together and build the city. And sure enough, I get an email. And this guy says, I heard your town hall. And he says, I haven't stopped thinking about it since. And come find out, you know, he made me take off so many things off his resume. But this guy is the head of robotic systems communicating with whatever else it is, because he's so smart when he says it to you, with whatever it is that makes these spaceship goes. The projects of him like literally landing on space. I mean, really, we got a rocket scientist, and the guy is amazing, and hopefully he'll brag. Next time I'll brag better for you.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Rich Reber. I'm a systems engineer at JPL. I'm working in robotics, but we're not going to talk about robotics. We're going to talk about, sorry. We're going to talk about, well, we're off to a good start here. We're going to talk about community. We lost Altadena. We lost our homes. We did not lose our community. And it's the community we need to use right now. And that's what we need to do. We need to come together as a community. Everyone brings something to the table. When I'm done crying, I'm going to tell you all about it, right? As Carl said, we need to communicate. And as Freddie said, we need to organize. And so what I want us to do is figure out a way of focusing our efforts and organizing. Everyone has their everyone has their They're a great idea for Altadena, and we need to figure out how to empower you to make that idea happen, right? Like Freddie wants to build back with collective purchasing of goods, and that's amazing. And we need to do that. We need to keep our costs down. You know, to riff on what Freddie said is, you know, let's build the home you deserve, not the home you can afford. I mean, what we really need to do is we need to make the home you deserve one that you can afford, right? So how are we going to keep our costs down? We're going to do that by organizing as a community, and we need to all come together to make it happen. Everyone brings something special to the table. I bring robotics. Anyway, no, what my specialty is I take very complicated things from very smart people, and I threaten to draw their PhD thesis in crayons, right? Like I take very complicated things and I make it easy for everyone to understand. If you ever want to hear about Rover tires, I got a whole fun story about it. But what I want you guys to think is, what can you contribute to Altadena, right? Are you an IT specialist? Are you a networker? You know, what do you bring to the table and how can we use that? So what we're going to ask for later is kind of your contact info so we can send out a survey and figure out where you are and what you're able to help us out with. So I want to explain I want to plant a seed here, literally a seed. My front yard was full of great California natives, and they're all gone. They all burned. And I want to replant those natives, but natives take a long time to germinate and a long time to propagate. If I go to the Theodore Payne Foundation and I buy a 1 gallon plant, that's going to cost me $20 a plant, and I'm going to need about 30 for my front yard. So 20 times 30, you know, that's $600 a plant. That's a lot. But if we get together as a community and we plant right now 70,000 California natives from seed, we can turn around and sell them back to you when they're fully grown for $1. And on this call is the master gardener for the Huntington Gardens. And then she went on to be the master gardener for the for the Arboretum, and now runs her own gardening business. And she's willing to help us out. These are the expertises we need to bring to the table. And we need to figure out how to bring everyone together and make this happen. Next time I talk, I'm probably not going to choke up. So thank you guys. I'm looking forward to working with everyone, and this is going to be really fun. Thanks.
You know, that's a guy who veins run cold, and he has to be. He's dealing in his career with things that are esoteric on a level that emotion doesn't exist. The loss of our city has destroyed him. It destroyed me. And Richard, you know, your passion and is what we need. We need a bunch of Richards and Carls and Abes and that. None of us are doing this for any financial gain, for advantage, for ego. Listen, we are a bunch of crying people not wanting to live in a funeral no more. Some of us are doing this because it's therapeutic. But some of us can make history across the world and be part of something that's never been done before because it's never been needed to. We can do this. We can do this together. The next guy is my cousin since birth. I've known him forever. I know no one is a big fan of lawyers and realtors or anything like that. But the reason I brought him in and the reason he said, Freddie, I'm in is first, he's an Altadena native, born and raised. And two, we need to have a team of realtors and developers who are going to advise and consult us. Like, we need to understand the markets and how we can control them, how we can help sales, how we can possibly sell within the community only to ensure that no foreign investors are buying up land and just leaving them bare as just a 10, 20-year investment for some time. We want to ensure who's coming in. And so we're going to need smart developers and realtors as consultants to teach us. And so I wanted him to come in. And what I like about him is he was also on the prosecutorial side, where unscrupulous realtors and developers who are breaking laws and targeting you guys are no-nos and are actually in violation of state law. So I'd like to introduce Abe Pratello.
All right, well, my name's Abraham Pratella, and I won't go through all the accolades. It really has no merit right now. But I do want to say that my heart is with each and every one of you. And as we look back and to see our culture, our history, our community kind of at the risk of being destroyed, I know that we have the collective, we have the heart, we have the brains, we have the talent all within this group. And so my heart for right now is to tell you that I will do all that I can as a former state director, and I'm dealing with all of the federal agencies who want to come in and help out. My heart really is to make sure that those predatory community developers, realtors, lenders are staying back for as long as we can until we figure this out. Now, I realize some of you may have to figure out your future, and it may not be Altadena. But for the most part, most of us here on this group have a heart and desire to be a part of this community. And so you have my full commitment. There's no vested interest. But beside my family being here and knowing this is where I've been raised and grown up in, my heart really is to just bring about just community and preservation to what once was and will continue as we go forward. Lastly, a part of the thing that I want to say is that I really want to urge you, as we are taking big steps forward tonight, the goal is to have 6 different subsections and start developing groups to see where you fit in. On the last slide, you'll see 6 broad bird's eye view groups of where we can see where we can have some use. And I recommend and I urge you to please just put your name, your number, your email, any of your skill sets. And if you want to do, if you want to be a part of leadership or strategy or developments or trade or law and ordinance, we have a strong voice, but we need all of us to come together. So my request is that you submit a resume or even just your information and where you can fit and help. And like Freddie was saying, even if you're a hairstylist or massage therapist, there's use. Even if you have no career path, but you have an idea or a vision, we want to hear from you. Each one of you, from NASA down to someone who really doesn't understand much of what we're doing. We need every single one. Every voice matters. And I'm going to urge you over and over again to please send your information over to us. And you'll see it shortly. It's info@thealtadena.com. And please submit your information. But we will win this. And we will do this. What we're doing is at a large scale, I understand. But we have now every single machine backing us up who wants to be a part of this. And we will make it happen. And just to plant a seed, we are going to become a nonprofit coalition. And these big manufacturers where we will negotiate strong with them will be donating lots of it as well as giving us big discounts. So we will get bigger discounts because we're nonprofit, give them big write-offs. At the same time, they're helping out the disaster relief victims. And so this could be the new model across the globe. But for right now, we're doing it here and we're going to make it happen. We have the right brains, the right smarts. Each one of you are very valuable. And thank you for your time, Freddie, for all you're doing.
Thank you, Abes. So we're monitoring the chats and I wanted to just get some things out there. One, we are not a land ownership or or we have no interest in being a land trust or having anything to do other than your own autonomy of your home. All we want to do is be able to give you access and resources available to you to build your dream home. Actually, that's all we want you to do is build your dream home. Have maybe a cute downtown. Maybe we can, not have funky signs everywhere. Maybe we can negotiate with a sign company so all the building signs on Lake and Fair Oaks and Lincoln all kind of look nice. Um, and together, maybe there's more trees, maybe there's more cobblestone, but this is your home, your property, your way, your life. We just want to make sure that the dream that you have to rebuild is not so far-fetched. It's not so expensive. It's not so difficult. Like, you want to have a resource we could just walk in and ask the contractor, the architect, a question and not have it go crazy, and actually talk to the right architect and to the right planner. We can have private inspectors where they're just all day, boom, that's good. Put your drywall up, boom, that's good. Here's your certificates for your electrical. Because if we're delayed waiting for inspectors and all these guys are fighting for resources, we're gonna eat each other alive. But we can coordinate. On such a day, we're dropping foundations, we're grading, we're slabbing, we're framing. If we are the developers, us as a unit, we can build the houses to scale and build them back beautifully. Okay. The next individual literally drops out of the sky, like literally drops out of the sky from Kentucky. And come find out, I never knew guys like this existed. He has spent 14 years in disaster recovery. Like, I didn't know these people exist. And he's been to every natural disaster across America, helping, consulting, and guiding. So there's the long-term recovery and there are short-term issues. And so I wanted to ensure that we have disaster guys who have worked with HUD, who have worked with FEMA, who've changed policy, worked in Congress, who knows how to wrangle or wrestle and do the things that none of us ever needed to know. Like, I didn't need to know what phase 2 debris removal is. Now we're all experts. So I'm so glad that Demetrius has come to town and somehow he landed in my neighborhood. Come on down, Demetrius.
Hi, everybody. I'll be brief. It's like Freddie said, first of all, he's killing the game. I have been at more, catastrophic events than I'd ever like to name. And unfortunately, this has become common. And so part of my job is to, really help bring some continuity to, first of all, what other communities have done, whether that's Louisville, Colorado, and the Marshall Fire. I was here in 2018 for the Woolsey Fire. And so, there's just a lot of misconceptions, but how to be really tactical in your approach to getting a recovery effort done and continue to move forward quickly. And more specifically, to Freddie's earlier point, how do you move and shift policy to do the thing that you need to do? The one thing I'll encourage you with is that, a lot of people have asked the question, well, where are these hundreds of millions of dollars on the philanthropic side? Those coalitions and programs are being organized right now. And it's really important that we get together so that we can capture that funding, but more specifically, that we're an active voice in what needs to be done with those dollars. Because I think people are sort of sitting there with those funds saying, okay, how should we best allocate these resources? The secondary thing is to understand that your voice really does matter. All of these programs are customizable. And we need local politicians to really speak truth to power in Washington specifically to get the things done that we need in this specific set of circumstances. And so I'm encouraged. I thank you for welcoming me into your community. And I'm excited. I'm here for the next 2 to 3 years helping you guys rebuild. And so let me know how I can help you. If you got questions on insurance or government related stuff or nonprofit and philanthropic efforts, I'm here to help in any way I can. Thanks, Freddie.
Thank you, Demetrius, for coming to California and doing all that you do. So I'm going to get into kind of some nuts and bolts of what collective and cooperative purchasing is, because I think that's really the driving force. Because in the end, if the only thing you get out of being in this collective or cooperative is access to materials and minds and assistance and friends, that's perfect. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is exist. All you need to do is need a home, or want to build grandma's home back, or want a good cup of coffee in Altadena. You know, we lost so much heritage. The Rancho Bar, or just a little Altadena heritage. The bar, you know why there's horses out front? Because when they started, they would come to the bar on horse. That's gone. There are buildings that are 100 years old. They're gone. There's I went to Noise. It's gone, which is Avison. I went to Elliott. It's essentially gone. I looked at it. The tower's standing, but it's gone. I went to Muir. The day that had happened, one kid was a kindergarten at Altadena, and it's all messed up, and Elliott's all messed up, and schools are all messed up. And we've lost so much. We have. So the cooperative is designed to kind of get us back to where we need, but better. Okay. But that's not discounting all of the things we need to address, like making sure West Side Altadena remains, making sure the West Side people remain in their homes, that grandma's home stays with grandkid. You see, 80% of African Americans, 80% in Altadena own their home. Where in United States can you show 10 African American families and show 8 of them own their homes? This is historic. When an African American or another minority or someone from a disadvantaged community owns their home and they're not worried about paying rent and bills and stuff, that leaves money for mom to put them through college because the home is owned. That leaves the kid from college who can stay home and save his money to open a business and be an entrepreneur. Altadena has put out some of the most incredible minds on earth, some of the most incredible athletes and politicians and writers. Do you know, I talked to a fireman, and he was from Utah, and he said he could not believe that every single house in Altadena that burned, he found burned instruments. We played music in Altadena. Most people, they don't move from Altadena. They just die. That's how we leave. When you leave Altadena, he died. All right, enough of the sadness. Okay. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts. And I'm not going to really bother you, but I want to bother you. And with that said, every coalition, whether your concern is of the Rose Gardens, or if your concern is energy efficiency, if your concern is elder issues, parks, education, West Side Altadena, minority displacement, you're going to lead these commissions and subcommissions. We just want to be your assisting foundation. If you're a nonprofit, or if you're in government, if you want to apply to USC and you want to work under Carl and put that on your resume saying that I helped the communications of Altadena, volunteer, help. You've got 4 hours. You got an idea, email it. This is your city. We're not going to build a city that I want. We're going to build a city for all of us. And it's so big and beautiful that you could have historic Altadena with its beautiful homes. And you can have a more modern new Altadena with homes that are more efficient and more easy to maintain in different areas for people who can need that. We can't just sit there and say that, it's going to be one way, but that's how Altadena's always been. That's always been this way. It's so dynamic and multicultural. You walk into Aldi and it's just like being at the World Fair or something like that. No one looks like each other. All right. So what is a cooperative or collective purchasing? Okay. It's essentially the process where multiple organizations or multiple people buy goods and services. Okay. Just like this. If you want to buy one car from the dealer, it's 40 grand. But if I call Ford and I say, hey, I want to buy 3,000 Ford F-150s, the price is different. I'm bypassing the distributor. I'm bypassing the seller. We're going to make logistics streamlined. That's real simple. I'll give you an example. Dunn Edwards or Sherwin-Williams. You go to Home Depot. It's $38 a gallon for good paint. but we'll negotiate with them. We'll say, listen, we need 1 million gallons. We need 10 million gallons. We'll pay you. Here's 5 million bucks. Okay. We want it at $7 a gallon, and we're not going to give you the 5 million up front. So you, as the homeowner, go to Dunn Edwards or whatever, pop in your little code, you're getting your stuff for $7. Pick the paint you want. We're not going to micromanage your business. We're not here to micromanage your jobs. But if you need help, if you need assistance, if you want to work within the collective, if you want that extra power, you have it. Or not. If you just want paint and don't want to be bothered with anybody, you're good. But that's the power of purchasing. You guys know this. This is economy 101. We're just purchasing together. And we're going to negotiate these things where I'm not controlling your money. We don't have nothing to do with touching your insurance money at all. You buy it. We're just going to have it pre-ordered and negotiated. It's just electronically negotiated. We're going to tell them, listen, it's called an output agreement. We agree to buy so many of these things at set price. We're going to need 8,000 5-ton AC units. We'll negotiate with Ream. We'll negotiate with Carrier. Who gives us the best deal? You order it at half off because we're going to order 8,000. We're going to make them negotiate with each other. We're going to say, hey, Ream is willing to do this. And guess what? These corporations, when they give us a discount to the 501c3 or the 501c6, they get to write it off. So either they're going to pay the federal government taxes or they're going to come out and we're going to give them a big award and say, congratulations, you helped the fire victims. You are corporate of the year. And they will do that. Or we'll say, listen, we have some homes, they don't have money. We bought 8,000, give us another 500. We need to identify who's hurting, make sure they get an AC unit. We're gonna need 8,000 refrigerators, 8,000 washing machine and dryers. Does anyone care about where we get the rebar from? We just want the best stuff. We can negotiate that, okay? There's key difference between a cooperative and a collective. Together, we'll decide what's best for us, okay? There are some incredible attorneys that are out there listening right now who know what I'm talking about. They're going to call and they're going to say, I'm going to give you advice, and here's the best way of doing it. There are guys out there who's running Fortune 500 companies. I know you're listening. I know you help create Amazon supply chain. I know there's supply chain managers out there. I know you. I can see you now. You're going to reach out and say, Freddie, I can help, okay? Because I love Altadena. This is my home, and I want my child to be gifted this beautiful city, okay? There's tons of benefits, cost savings, improved supplier relationships. We can negotiate directly with Canada with the mills. We can negotiate directly with Pakistan in carving out these beautiful granite mountains. If we're ordering it, carving it, and shipping it here, you will get the most amazing granite on earth versus this Formica or the stuff that you're seeing in all of these East Side homes. We're not East Side Fontana. God bless the city. But we're not going to build that way. We're going to have beautiful, custom, unique architectural homes that you deserve, that Altadena deserves. Okay? There's an efficiency process because we're not going to have one refrigerator dropped off in the middle of the hill. On that day, you got 100 refrigerators coming in and out. It's going to be systematic. It's going to be logistic tight. It's the same way you order something on Amazon and 6 hours later, there's a knock at your door. We're going to have to work efficiencies. Everything inefficient is going to cost you money. So every time I'm saving you 30%, 60%, 80%, 20%, it starts to stack and add up. And that's how you end up with your $1 million, $2 million home. You can do this. And you don't have to pick it. If you don't like what we got, you don't have to pick it. You don't like Dunn Edwards? Pick the paint you want. Pay whatever price you want. Or maybe go, hey, a lot of us like this Italian thing. Okay, jump on the phone. Let's talk to them. Hey, we're wildfire victims. We got 8,000 of us. We have $10 billion in insurance proceeds. Do some business with us. You know? And contractors and architects aren't going to piss us off. They're going to show up to the job because they know we're 8,000 strong. You won't get our business. You're not going to cheat the old lady. You're not going to get some deposit and walk away, Everybody who hired a contractor hired two. The first guy they gave the deposit to, and the next guy they learned not to give them the deposit. We're not going to allow that to happen to you. They're not going to victimize us. And if someone's sick, we have a team there that we could go send someone to go fix this issue so they could keep building. The lumber's short. Keep building. I ordered too much. About 10, 20% of all materials go to waste because people order too much. You can't return it. But here in the collective, guess what? She needs some material. No problem. We'll have staging warehouses where we could deliver things. We're going to need 30,000 toilets. I mean, the magnitude of what we have to do, we have to buy together. If I call and I get 30,000 top of the line toilets, I will get them at 70% off. Trust me. Call them. Call them and say, I want to order 30,000 toilets. And your list price is 100. I'm going to give you 30. I'll pay shipping and I'll have it delivered myself. They may take it. And we'll find those people. And there's going to be people who want to donate and provide things and get tax write-offs. This can be done, but it's not going to work unless we all do it. Because if you guys go out there and want to pay $1,000 a square foot, you set the price. Or if you sell your land too cheap, you set the price. Everybody fire sales. We got to protect ourselves. We got to protect one another. There's only one way, together. Okay? There are things that nobody knows the brand name of. You don't know the brand name of your bricks or of your rebar or of your stone or of your hardwood floor. You just know that it's set quality, certain fire rating. Now, there are tons of benefits if we make things more fireproof, earthquake-proof, and windproof. One, you can get an extra $500,000 from SBA. You have 30 days to get this, and we'll talk about this more. You can get up to $1 million at 2.53%. I'm working every day with SBA. I got these guys on speed dial, okay? Two, if we are more fire, wind, and flood effective, we're going to get cheaper rates on your insurance, if we're ever going to get insurance. But they may only insure Altadena because we built for the future. Windproof, fireproof. There's so much more technology now that you would never know it's fireproof. You would never know it's windproof. It looks more beautiful than San Marino homes. But we can get insured. Okay? Things like flooring. We will find the top flooring company. We're going to need millions of square foot of flooring. We find the top manufacturer and say, listen, we're going to need the best stuff. What, like for a minimum, you might spend the same price on flooring, but you're going to get the best original, real hardwood floors or not. Like everything we could do better for the same amount of money that you're going to go and get screwed over on. Because all construction people want to do is screw us over. I think that's their sole purpose in life. I think that's like God makes these guys, and that's what they do. But sorry for all you contractors out there. I apologize. You can tell I've been screwed over a few times. I also do comedy, by the way. All right. We're going to need conduits and fittings and circuit breakers and wire cables. Does anybody care if it's Sylvania or Phillips? If I cut a deal for 50% off, we're ordering Phillips. But you like Sylvania? Buy it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. I just want you to know that together they exist. And so instead of wasting money on wire nuts and cables and stuff, take the money you save and get the most amazing doors and archways and architectural design and things that you see, things that you feel. Who cares what? Who made the rebar? It's in the concrete. Do you care? Nobody cares. I don't care where the PVC comes from. I just want it to be the best. Take that money and build the home you want. It can be done, okay? Plumbing and roofing materials, waterproofing and fittings and water heaters and things of that nature. None of that stuff, it needs to be special. It just needs to be highest quality. And we're going to make sure so that you didn't buy junk. We're going to make sure that this is the manufacturer, this is the best, and this is the best price. So everything that we do is we're going to talk it through. We're going to talk to people who've used it. Why is this company good? Where are they made? You know, how can we be within? And in doing so, we can empower our Altadena residents by giving the Altadena contractors and the vendors and the crafts makers and things of that nature, give them the opportunity first. Why do we have to spend our money outside of our community? We're the ones who need to rebuild. We're going to focus on everyone's business. Maybe one day you have a business and we all come and we paint and we bring you furniture and we give you things. We should be a real community. We could change the world this way. No one says that we can help each other. We know what's wrong with our neighbor. We raise the kids. We grow old. And then we look back and saw that we made history. Okay? We're going to need all kinds of stuff, but we can negotiate even things like we can negotiate with Samsung or LG and say, LG, listen, we're fire victims. We're going to buy 8, 20, 30,000 items. Anything on your website, we want a 50% off. If not, we're going to go to your competitor. And so you might grab a TV, you might grab a washing machine and dryer. You may not like Samsung. You may like all these different products. Maybe one product is going to give us 30% off. Maybe one product is going to give us other percentage off. And you don't have to pick it, but you know it's there. And sometimes you might need to get some cheaper things so you could get the big door, or you could get the reclaimed wood that you wanted, or you could build the landscaping. Like landscaping, we need to think about this now. We're going to need millions and millions of square feet of sod. We could order it now and have them grow it now for the future and buy it pennies on the dollar in tractor trailers. We're going to need 1 million plants, at least 1 million plants. This is how we got to think, okay? Paints and coatings and sealers and wood stains, all of this is negotiable at scale. If we had 8,000 of us, 8,000 structures have gone down. All you got to do is agree that you want to buy something cheaper and you're in the coalition. That's simple. I don't need no money. You don't need to pay a fee. You don't need a membership. You don't have to volunteer. Just say, hey, you got done after 7? Can I get it? Of course you can. You are Altadena. You're automatically in. There's no give or take. All right. And we can be energy efficient and sustainable. We'll find out all the rebates and things of that nature where we can build solar farms and things, or not solar farms, but solar and energy efficient ways that the city has rebates and has benefits and has ways of things. We can create community gardens. All of you come up with the ideas and us together can make it happen. And that is the goal. We'll also negotiate with labor. Sorry, all you labor guys out there. I know you snuck into the call, but it's fine. We don't need that many of you. But if we work to scale, if there's an architect out there that everybody loves, we'll negotiate with them and say, look, we love your style. Work with these 100 homes. We can't give you 50,000 a plan, okay? But we'll assist you, we'll help you, and we'll get you right. And we could do this over and over. There's Frank Lloyd Wrights. There's some amazing architects out there. You guys, there's architects out there who's going to lead this commission. Not gonna be me. There's civil engineers gonna lead this commission, and electricians and drywallers who say, Freddie, this is how it works. Abe, this is how it works. Robert, this is how it works. I'm just gonna be here to be the voice and bang the door and protest. I'll just be the protester out there making sure no one forgets about us. Make sure no one steals our money. Make sure we're suing anybody who messes with us. That's my job. I'm only good at that, as you can tell. All right. So we need to identify the needs, form groups, develop agreements, and get this thing going with committees. It's going to be you guys telling us what's best, okay? All right, so there are data analytics guys, collaborative platforms, e-procurement systems. What I want to tell everybody, some of you have created things out there. I know IO has been creating things. Want to let IO know, I hear you and I see you. There are people who've created things we may not need to recreate. There are people who have built things that may not need to be rebuilt. So create the committee, jump in, pick your friends. This could be fun. It could be therapeutic. You guys can meet and think, and your subcommittee should be operated the way you want it. You know what I mean? You guys might have a singular hand vote. You know what I mean? Me and Abe, we like to punch it out, and the first guy to have blood is the winner. So you do it your way. Make it your city. Envision, create, dream big. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen to us? We save some money. We built a sick ass city. We're world renowned. When people fly in, they go, you got to come to Altadena. Let me show you something. Because cities are built like in 1910 and 1920, 1930 with different material, different things. We get to build this thing from brand new. The brand new vision. Make it a movie. Who says we have to have some of the same shitty things we had? We had some shitty buildings on Lake. Let's be honest with each other. How many of you drove up Lake and said, damn, there's a few buildings that need to go? They're gone. So let's re-envision them. There used to be like 7, 8 thrift stores all over. Maybe there's an area of crafts and thrifting and an area of that, and an area of walking, little restaurants and cafes. I mean, it could be, maybe you don't want it. Maybe you just don't want no one to come. You just want beautiful homes. I'm good with that. Pick the city you want. It would be nice to get a nice meal. You guys ever said, man, it would be nice to get some sushi down to the, it would have been nice. I know it's a fantasy. Some guys like to dream, but that would be cool. We could be the best. And when we look back, we're going to go, look, kids, look what we did. We all gave a little bit of our time and a little bit of our creativity, and we created something amazing. So join the movement. I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk, but hopefully this excites you. Hopefully it motivates you. Hopefully we start getting all you beautiful, creative, smart, energetic minds out there. You can do this. We can do it. It's our city. So lawyers, doctors, scientists, realtors, developers, guys who draw. If you're an artist, come see us. Show us where art can be. Why don't we have the most amazing art in Altadena? Did you drive down a certain block and there's a beautiful piece of art that becomes part of our history? To be nice. It's on you. Okay. So I think that's where we're at. Jasmine? Oh, yeah. Jasmine, jump in.
Hi everyone, my name's Jasmine Aguiar. I just wanted to jump in real quick, and I've been following up on the messages, and I think that cohesively we all have the same idea, right? We have ideas, we know we can contribute, and we all have our grain of rice that we can contribute to this collective. Now, I want to clarify a couple of things. One is that we aren't here to dictate what Altadena community is doing. What we want to do is bring everyone together, identify the needs of everyone involved, because every case is so different. However, through that identification, we can begin segmenting these needs and grouping people into these committees. At this point, we don't know what the committees are going to look like just yet. This is this is not our first meeting together, but this is our first meeting bringing the collective together and discussing these ideas. So I've dropped a Google form in our chat. I invite you to fill it out. I'm behind the scenes reading all of your messages, reading all of your questions, and there is a lot of information needs that I'm identifying. So please go ahead and use this form to give us your ideas, let us know your skill sets. Tell us what it is that you think, what kind of committees you think we should have. As behind the scenes with Freddie, we've been discussing what are the next steps. I believe we're going to have multiple meetings, maybe on a weekly basis, following up through this. Hopefully they can be virtually. Some of them could be in person. And then these follow-up meetings will allow us to segment our community into these committees. Now, in these committees, we are asking for leaders. We're asking for volunteers. Are you that person that has an idea of how a committee should be led and what the voice of that committee needs to look like? Please let us know in this Google form so that we can begin identifying you, right? There's so many skill sets at the table. We want to make sure that we use everyone's strengths appropriately. The other thing this coalition will allow us to do is, as a unified voice, go to our elected officials. As Freddie mentioned, there's so many committees at the local, state, county, and federal level. I work, this is what I do within my company, and it is very difficult to sit in multiple committees at the same time. So we are going to rely on each other to be ears and eyes within these committees and bring back this feedback with recommendations of how the coalition will move cohesively. So I understand that there might be some difference of opinions because there are different needs within this group, and that's okay. I think that there is room for everyone to coexist. And I also invite any other organizations and grassroots efforts that are actively doing this work to join this coalition. I think that is the point, to show up as a driving force, not just as an individual, not just as maybe a family, but to be part of this coalition. Usually coalitions are built by different organizations, and I see different organizations on this chat. Please let us know your organization name, what have you already done, what do you want to do moving forward, and how can we collaborate? Businesses, if you are a business who is looking to service any type of these needs within this community, also fill out this Google form. Let us know how you can be involved and how you can help. Again, we're open for any discussion, any questions, comments, ideas, concerns that you might have. I also ask for your patience. We are a small group of people, and there is a large community, so it takes us a while to get through these messages, but we are reading them. We are actively segmenting them. And as I mentioned, our goal is to maybe have these on a weekly basis so that we can continue this conversation. And I'll wrap it up with that. It was a pleasure speaking to you guys, and I hope to continue this conversation offline. Freddie, do you want to take it over?
Jasmine, that was awesome.
Thank you.
You see, we got some of the best people already. I thank you guys. I know you guys are tired of hearing me. I know I get too excited and a little crazy, and I know my good looks. It's hard to keep staring into my eyes, and I get that. But together, honestly, we could do this. Believe, dream big, and let's build our baby back. Our baby Altadena coming home. Let's do it.